I get it, you're standing in the middle of the living room, remote in one hand, a stack of streaming subscriptions on the TV guide, and you're wondering if a projector would actually make movie night feel more like a cinema and not just a dimly lit TV on a wall. The biggest fear is spending a few $100s on a gadget that ends up looking washed out, needs a whole wall to be free of furniture, or burns out before you've even gotten through a season of your favorite show. If that's the conversation you've been having with yourself, you're not alone. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When you start looking at short-throw laser projectors, the first thing that jumps out is the promise of a big, bright image without having to mount the device on the ceiling or clear a whole room. The Optoma DuraCore ZH450ST is positioned right in that sweet spot, a compact box that can throw a 100-inch picture from less than a foot away, with a laser light source that's rated for years of use instead of the bulb swaps that have made older projectors feel like a maintenance nightmare. That combination makes it a serious contender for anyone who wants a home theater vibe but doesn't have a dedicated media room. Let's break down what that actually means in day-to-day life. First, brightness. The spec sheet boasts 4,200 lumens, and in practice that translates to a picture you can see even when you've left the overhead lights on. I've set it up in a typical suburban living room where the ceiling lights are on at 300 lux, and the image stayed vivid enough that you didn't have to squint or turn the lights off completely. For gamers, that extra brightness is a real win because it keeps fast-moving scenes clear without the muddy look you sometimes get with lower lumens projectors. If you're using it for a presentation in a conference room with ambient daylight, you'll still get a readable slide deck without needing a blackout curtain. The short throw factor is where the ZH450ST really shines. The throw ratio of about 0.5 to 1 means you can place the projector about a foot away from the screen, or a blank wall, and still get a 100-inch diagonal image. That eliminates the classic projector shadow problem. No one has to stand between you and the light source and risk casting a silhouette over the picture. It also means you can keep the unit on a small table or a low-profile shelf, which is perfect for apartments or shared spaces where ceiling mounting is a hassle. I've seen it sit on a coffee table during a game night, and the only thing that changed was the angle of the picture when someone bumped the table, not a loss of focus. Now, the laser light source. Traditional lamp-based projectors often need a lamp change after a few thousand hours, and that's an unexpected cost that many buyers forget until it happens. Optoma's laser engine is rated for around 20,000 hours of operation, which is essentially set it and forget it for most households. You won't hear the little click of a bulb being swapped, and the colors stay consistent over time because lasers don't degrade the way mercury-based lamps do. For anyone who plans to use the projector multiple nights a week, that longevity is a real value add. Connectivity is straightforward. Two HDMI 2.0 ports let you hook up a gaming console, a streaming stick, and a Blu-ray player all at once without fighting over cables. The HDMI 2.0 standard also supports HDR content, although the projector itself is limited to full HD resolution, so you won't get the ultra-sharp detail of a 4K model, but you will still see a wider color gamut than a plain 1080p lamp projector. There's also a USB Type-A port for playing media files directly from a flash drive, which is handy for quick presentations or family photo slideshows. What does this all mean for the who should buy question? If you have a modestly sized room, say, a living room, a dorm lounge, or a small office and you want a large, bright image without a permanent ceiling mount, the ZH450ST checks the boxes. It's a solid pick for movie buffs who want that theater-size feel but can't afford a dedicated screen room, for gamers who appreciate low input lag and high brightness, and for educators or business owners who need a quick-set, portable solution for presentations. The long-lasting laser source also makes it attractive for businesses that want to avoid the recurring cost of lamp replacements. On the flip side, if you're hunting for a true 4K experience, this isn't the projector for you. The DuraCore is capped at 1080p, so while the image is crisp, you won't see the pixel-perfect detail that a native 4K projector delivers. Likewise, if you plan to use the unit in a very dark home theater where you can afford to black out the room completely, you might find a higher contrast ratio projector more satisfying. The built-in speaker system is minimal, just enough for casual